curtain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn, because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Times gone by, I've traded like dirt into clay. I thought my memories would end. One train over's now 1,000 miles away. When I close my eyes, I'm back to where I've been. In this life, there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn, because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Hey, y'all. Yeah, I know. You want to know what we're talking about, don't you? This is 1100 WSGI. I'm U-Turn LaVern. And this is, you know, at one street over. What's going on one street over from where you live in? Well, we're going to find out because my friend Spence Boston is in town. Spencer Boston is in town. And we are going to talk about just, you know, anything and everything that comes to our mind. We are actually sitting here talking about our knee replacements and joint replacements and being old and all that and all the things, but that's okay. We just, we'll just talk about whatever we want to, brother.
There you
How
go.
are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Me too.
Doing well.
Me too.
That's
And
good.
the main reason I had Spence come in is because we want to talk about Celebrate Recovery. And, you know, Matt Driscoll will come in from time to time and talk about it, but he's got a real gig now, a real job, and so he's not as available. And so we need to. I talk a lot about it just kind of in passing because it's something that I participate in on Wednesday nights at Madison Church of Christ. We don't do the one up at Epiphany anymore, but you know sometimes things just move on. You have to do something different. But I'm so glad y'all got the one up at Calvary, Calvary Baptist that meets on Sunday. And when y'all told me you were opening one on Sunday, I thought, man, that's perfect because we need one on Sunday. Because, I mean, a lot of people are not comfortable just with church service.
Correct.
And this is a play. And it's just the truth, guys, because there's been so much church hurt out there. And we just have to deal with all those things. And so Spence is in here to talk about what they're doing up at Calvary. I'll talk a little bit about what we're doing at Madison. I'll tell you a little story about what happened this week at our Celebrate Recovery. It was just a God thing. It was so cool. But we do have a lot of things we need to mention as far as events going on. I have shared several things on my social media page because I didn't want to forget to mention them. One thing is I had the Heads reach out to me and say, hey, Heads Farm is having their corn festival this weekend, and it's going to be from 3 to 8 p.m., and everybody loves Heads Farm. And if you want to come out, it's $5 per car, and they're going to have just all kinds of fun events, but they're having their first corn festival, and I'm wondering what that's all going to be about. That sounds fun.
Sounds fun, don't it?
And $5 for the car to go in and have some fun. They always have a lot of fun over at Heads Farm, but they're going to have a corn eating contest. They're going to have animals, and I'm sure lots of corn and all kinds of things. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But that's going on this weekend. Of course, too, we have all kinds of things going on with the Thresherman Show. Opens today. So you want to get to the Thresherman Show. That is opening up today. I think the gates open. Go to the Thresherman Show, Tennessee, and you'll get all the details on it. I'll try to find the paper on. I've got papers here on all kinds of stuff. I'll have to dig for it. But the Thresherman Show is happening today and tomorrow. And you've got a $10 ticket. It'll get you in. Here it is. Okay, so $10 will get you in either day. So $10 today, $10 tomorrow. If you're 12 and under, it's free. Gates open at 8 a.m. today and tomorrow. Now tomorrow, I had Wade in here yesterday or a couple of days ago, and he said you need to get there early tomorrow because you want to see that parade of all those antiques, and it's an awful lot of fun. And they're going to have all kinds of wonderful vendors. They're going to have, I think, see, the pony pull is tomorrow. The mule pull is tonight. They didn't bring in the big boys this year. They didn't have a Thursday night offering. So, but it's a great thing. This is the 56th Thresherman show, and it's cool. It's cool stuff.
It's been around a while, huh?
Oh yeah. And I have uncles and neighbors and stuff that participated in it years ago. But it's up in Adams. I forgot to mention that. Mm-hmm. And then of course something that kind of ties into that is making hands, and they even were on Channel 5. I think is what I shared that to make sure we didn't forget to mention that. But Channel 5 came and did a story on them, if I'm not mistaken. And so we want to make sure that everybody goes and sees that because, yeah, it was on News Channel 5, and they did a little feature on it because this is such a cool story because it shares the history of Robertson County over the last 230 years because we're almost as old as the nation.
Wow.
You know, because Kilgore, Thomas Kilgore settled up in Cross Plains very early in our founding. And they talk a little bit about Kilgore, and then they talk a lot. There's a big segment about the Civil War because it was so critical in this area, and there were so many things that happened in that era, and in the early 1900s and the early 20th century, and then on into present day. The present day couple that moved here from California, they're hysterical, and they do an excellent job. But Danny Ashley and his daughter are both in it, and it's just wonderful. It is just a wonderful play. I saw it on opening night. Tonight you can go at 7:00. Tomorrow night you can go at 7:00, and then Sunday they'll have a 2:00 matinee. You're gonna want to see this play, and they're recording it for the schools, so the schools can show it.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah.
And I think that's wonderful. And so just so many cool things going on, not to mention that Moana starts at Capitol Theater today.
There you go.
You go get your Moana tickets. I love it. We about every 2 weeks they're putting in a new movie at Capitol Theater. And so I'm going to try my best to see everything he puts on there. Now, when you do these late night ones, Michael, I love it,
right?
But I am not a late night person.
Yeah.
They're doing Back to the Future tonight at 9:45.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's a little bit late for me, but I hope you pack the house, Mike. If I can't sleep, man, I may come out and join you. But that's a little bit late for me.
Michael took that call zone.
I'm so thrilled. I haven't
been yet. I'm looking forward to
cool.
it.
It's neat.
I know it's beautiful from the outside.
Yes, it is. And they've got their popcorn bucket. It's like, and I've got one in the car. I'm usually bringing it as a prop, but it's $25 for the popcorn bucket. But then you get $5 refills for the rest of the year.
Wow.
And anybody knows that's a deal in the movie world.
Right.
And you go in and the kids are all dressed up that are working there like in proper movie, they're not in t-shirts and jeans.
Yeah, they're in the right garb.
They have their uniform on. It's just neat. I love it. And so we'll be there to see Moana. I'm not sure when we're going to go because I got to get the grands back down here. And that's one of the things I told Spence when we sat down, as I said, man, I have so much respect for you. My grandson will be 10 in 2 weeks. And he's been at my house this week. And I told my husband today, I said, he's only been here for 3 nights, but 4 days, and I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. Can't get anything done. That, as far as the things like we're wanting to get done on the house. Now, he helped us with a few chores, but very quickly, it's about fishing.
Oh, yeah.
It's about fishing down on the creek. And we caught 2 fish, didn't keep either one of them. One of them absolutely got away from him before he really got a hold of it. Now, the one he caught yesterday, he had it. He was holding on to it. And the thing slipped out of his hand, and then by the time he reeled it back in, we didn't end up getting to keep it because it did finally get off the hook. But he had that thing. I said, "You caught that fish?" "Oh, it got away." I said, "No." I said, "You had it.
Technically, you had that.
You had that fish." And enough that Mama got pictures because I have to videotape and take pictures of everything for his mama and daddy because they want to see. They don't want because nobody wants to miss anything,
No.
And I don't blame them. And isn't that special that that I love that my grandkids have that many people. We have so many people that just love and are so crazy about our grandkids, and that I'm kind of looping back around to your sweet family. How many children do you have in your household right now?
6.
God bless you.
6 children.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
13, 12, 10, 5, 2, and 7 months.
God bless you. They foster and they adopt, and it's just you've got a house full, and you have one biological child, right?
Yes.
And then you have these beautiful adopted children. My sister-in-law's family is so beautiful. Her entire family's adopted.
Yeah.
And so I've always just I was telling Spence when we sat down, I said, when you start studying things about the early church, one of the things that stood out, made them stand out from all that was going on, with the Roman Empire at the time, is they did things that most people didn't do. And one of the things is they took in unwanted children, because children, when during that time period, when a child was born, the father could say, no, I don't want that child. Maybe there was a slight birth defect, or maybe they wanted a boy and it was another girl. And they're like, nope. And they had this field of abandonment where they would just abandon a child. And what would happen then is people who would market slaves would go through and they would pick out children that they thought would make good slaves, and they would raise them like animals to be slaves. And of course, they would actually train them to do certain things. And that was why the story of Philemon, the slave in that story, is Onesimus. And that name literally means useful. And so the speculation, when you study, the original intent of Scripture and what it means, is that Onesimus himself may have been a child that was rescued, and they went, oh, he would be useful. And so when you see that that's what the early church was characteristically known for, is taking in kids, and you meet families like Spence, and you find out all these children that they have fostered and taken care of. And how many times did you say fatherless is mentioned in the Bible?
It's mentioned 43 times in the Bible, 42 in the Old Testament.
And so in what he said, I guess it's important. And whenever I see families that have just taken that on and owned it, I just honor you. And man, you're going to be honored in heaven for that. Because there's not a more noble work than taking care of these innocent kids. And I just honor you for that.
It's an honor to be able to do it.
Well, God bless you.
It's not what I thought I was going to do in retirement, I can tell you that. I planned on living at the beach.
I bet. Isn't that something?
God had different plans. And this weekend's a big, you were mentioning things, and I don't know if you know about it, but this weekend's a big weekend in the foster care world. Isaiah House, 117 House, is having their lemonade stands all weekend. And
did they do those last weekend too?
I don't know that they did. There's today, Saturday and Sunday are the official days. Someone may have done it earlier.
One of our neighbors had a lemonade stand, and I know that's what it was for, because I just know the family well enough to know. And but there was a lemonade stand on our road last week. But
there's 50
patronized.
There's 50 in Robertson County.
That's wonderful.
And all the proceeds go to Isaiah House here in Robertson County, which, if you don't know what that is, that's a home that was built by donations for children that are entered into the foster care system, and they stay there until they find placement.
That's just it.
So we're excited at Calvary. This is the first year we get to be a part of it.
Oh, wonderful.
And so we're going to have a stand tomorrow from 10 to 3 out on the front porch. Come by. We'll have some popcorn. We'll have information about Isaiah House. So
that's
we're
great.
Excited about that.
So this is really a perfect day for you to come in. It just kind of worked out.
Yeah.
And I knew as we were, putting together the guest list this week, I thought, man, I haven't talked to anybody about CR in a while. And then I knew that the lemonade stands and stuff were going on and tying into all the foster care work that you guys do that was work. So thank you so much for bringing that up.
Yeah.
And I just cannot say enough. Having my almost 10-year-old grandson in my house for the last 4 days, what a blessing. We've had just a wonderful time. And of course, it just reminds me of what you guys do. And, I just appreciate you so much.
We hope by the end of the year we'll have adopted our 5th child.
Oh, precious. That's beautiful.
We keep saying we're done. But last weekend a door opened up for a former foster child that we almost adopted.
Wow.
We got real close to, and
Yeah.
so she's back in the system,
Yeah.
unfortunately, and so we're in the process of praying about that. And
Yes.
she's 4 hours away from here, but
Wow.
if you I just asked that you would pray for little Emily.
How old is she?
She's 10 years old.
God, the same age. Ooh, that just gets my heart because that's the same age as my grandson.
Yeah, she's 10 years old, and so she's back in the system, unfortunately, due to some very, very bad things. So we're praying that God opens that door. We'll step through it. If not, He finds a home for her
Yeah.
that'll love her. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's the thing. And again, I say this a lot to my CR family, is that just realizing how blessed we are when we have these kids that just have so many that love them. That's a conversation I had with my grandson. We were talking about something, and I said, "You realize you're spoiled?" And he's like, "I know." And I said, "You know, you got an awful lot of people who just cherish you." And I said, "You know, that's a big blessing." I know. I said, "Because I said, Mama and Papa meet a lot of kids that don't really have anybody because we teach in the public school system."
Oh yeah.
And that's one of the hardest things to see are these kids that come into our classroom every day, and you can just see the brokenness in their spirit, man. And I said, it's just such a blessing to see, your kiddos that are just so loved. And then to see families like Spence and what is your bride's name? What's your wife's name? Heather, Spence and Heather. I was trying to recall it, but Spence and Heather that just take these kids and they just love them so deeply. And Paul Rainey is saying, "Spindo, love
I
you."
wonder if Lizard checked in yet or not.
Yes. Y'all call him Lizard?
Yeah, that's the old fire department name.
See, and that's another thing you don't know about Spindo is how many years did you serve in the fire department?
35 years.
35. And then Paul, if y'all see Lawrence P. Rainey on here, that's Paul Rainey.
Yeah.
And my brother in Jesus Christ, and you too, but we're super close. The Mary and Paul Rainey, we got to know each other when I was working at the Benevolent Center up at the Madison Church of Christ. Yeah. And they would come in and work with Meals on Wheels and all the things. And I'll never forget when I was working up there, one day we were getting ready to go to Mexico. We had just started really just kind of getting going with our church affiliation in Baja, Mexico, working with the church down there and doing what we do. And Mary and Paul said to me, they said, "We think we want to go with you." And I was like, "Okay." And they went, I don't know how many years. Paul will tell me how many years they've gone. I'm going to get them back. They've had some things going on in the summer where they couldn't go because they had like graduations and all these things going on that they had to go to instead, weddings or whatever. And sometimes you just can't make it happen.
There you go.
I told him, I said, "We're going to get you back there next year." But they're just dear friends. And he's on here. If Paul's not on the radio with me and in the comments saying hi, I wonder about where's
Yeah, you have to
Paul
call and
Mary?
check on him.
Where are they at this morning? So I'll tell you what, we're talking with Spence Boston, Spindo, as the fire department called him.
Yep.
And just so many things we could talk about, Spence. But we do want to spend some real intentional time. Paul said they went for 5 years to Baja. I knew it was a bunch. And so we'll get you back next year, Paul. And maybe. And but we've got so many things we can talk about. We've got to spend some time talking specifically about Celebrate Recovery. And again, we'll kind of spin back around and talk more about Isaiah and the Isaiah House and all that they do in the foster care program. We do have several ads that we've got to cover. So we're going to start with that right now and get going with that and get right back to the show. But let's pause for a second and let's start with our longest running full-time sponsor, Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. Love these folks so much. Dear friends, and love getting to hang out with them. And I do that a lot because we have different events that go on, and Barry will call me and say, "Hey, why don't you come out to this?" Or they'll have community events and they'll set up their tent and they'll sit down and meet with folks, and they'll even be able to do free market analysis for you on your home if you're thinking, what kind of equity do I have? Do I really want to sell? Maybe sometimes people will come up and just say, I'm looking at this such and such neighborhood. Do you have any listings? And they can start talking to you about it and say, hey, if you can get on an email list with us, and if something happens, we'll let you know. They are just the whole package. They have so many people that are joining their team because they've been with Exit, the company, the big company Exit, for ever since they got into real estate. Started with Rebecca, and when she was in radiology, she was a radiologist, and then she stayed at home to raise their kids and get them into school. And then once they all got to school, she's like, okay, what do I want to do? And she found the company that crossed every T, dotted every I, and had everything she needed to make sure she was going to be a success. And they're still with Exit. They were with the Garden Gate team for a lot of years. They started Exit Prime several years ago. Barry came out of that big marketing background for 17 years. That was his, business. He was the vice president of a media marketing company in Nashville. So he brings that marketing expertise. He's now a broker here in Springfield. But they started that new branch in the Exit Tree, Exit Prime Realty, and they'd love to bring you on as a realtor. Samuel and Brandy Hastings are both working with them at Exit Prime, and they would love to put you on there as well. They'd love to mentor you and help you out, or they'd love to help you sell your home or help you buy a home. And to do that, all you have to do is reach out to them. You can go to sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or BUI.RobertsonCounty.com, or, Barry says, just Google us. That's a good way to find them, and you'll find all the great listings and all. They've got, I was looking at his social media page. He's got a couple of price drops on a couple of properties right now that you might want to look at. One's right here in Springfield. They're both in Springfield. And so definitely take a look at those. 2 listings in Springfield with a price drop. Go and take a look at them. Might be just the perfect home for you to make your first home. Or you can give them a call, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425 or 7424, and let them know U-Turn sent you. Spence Boston is in the house. So let's talk about, why did you get involved in CR, and how long have you been involved with Celebrate Recovery?
I've been there for a little over 6 years now.
Okay.
How I got involved was I became a really bad alcoholic through my years in the fire department. I was very good at hiding it for years and years. The last 5 years, not so much.
Right.
And it became an everyday thing. And so when I left the fire department, 3 weeks later, they found me in respiratory arrest where I drank myself to death.
God bless you.
And so...
You're just a miracle. You're still with us.
Once I came off of life support, and they told me what all went on, went through some rehab to learn how to do things again, because I really didn't. I had some issues once I come off life support, and I said, I got to do something about this. And so I wandered into Celebrate Recovery and found my forever family, and found people just like me, and they were happy to see me.
Yeah.
And I was able to admit what I am and what I was, and so that's how it all started.
Isn't that beautiful? And you didn't have to go and tell the whole testimony, but you're very public about it. Yeah. And I say that to say, when we start talking about, real candidly about some of the things in our past, people go, well, I can't do that. I can't. You don't have to. You don't have to. There are some folks like Spence. I'm super honest about my and I don't have chemical and alcohol addiction. I deal with a lot of church stuff, y'all, and I'm super honest with that. And I deal with a lot of church hurt and a lot of deep spiritual issues. I have a lot of food issues, and so that's where my stuff goes. And I deal with a lot of self-esteem issues. People are like, really? Because I'm so out there and all that kind of stuff. I do. And I'm super honest about the things I deal with. So I'm very public about, I tell everybody, I wrote all my stuff down in a book long before I found out about Celebrate Recovery. So, because I didn't want to have any secrets. But you don't have to do that. So when you hear people like Spence be just very open about his struggles, and maybe, me talking about the things that I struggle with, that doesn't have to be you.
No.
This is a place of confidentiality. And so if you're and every one of us need this.
Oh, yes.
That's what I can't. We talk about that so much. We had this past Wednesday, I'll tell you what happened this past Wednesday night real quick. But so Wednesday night, I'd had a gentleman that I had been texting about doing the testimony. And when I went back and read my text, I could see, I was like, I didn't finally say, yes, I need you Wednesday night. He had said he could do it. And I said, oh, that would be great. Looking forward to it. And he said, absolutely. But I never confirmed that the other person wasn't coming and that he was coming, because I got busy. And so Wednesday night, I'm looking and I'm like, oh, no, I had messed up. Well, I have the recorded testimony of John Baker and Cheryl Baker, which is just beautiful. The founders of Celebrate Recovery. And I hadn't ran it in a while, but I keep it queued up in case we need it. And I told him, I said at the beginning of it, I said, number one, do not tell my friend Muriel that we messed up, because she kind of gets it all together, for us. And, of course I'm telling it now, but, and I'll tell Muriel everything. But what was so cool, I said, God does what he does. And I said, we haven't heard this testimony in a while. And I said, I feel like there's people here that just really need to hear this. And so we're going to use this. And it was wonderful. And it'd been at least a year or two since we played it. So after hearing it, I said, I've got to make sure and put this on the schedule to hear it once a year, because it's so good. And at the end of the large group, two gentlemen came up to me from another church, and I'm not going to name them because I don't have the permission to. That's confidentiality.
Right.
They're wanting to start a CR.
Oh, sweet.
And he goes, I can't believe you played the testimony of the founder on a day when we needed to understand what it was all about.
Oh, sweet.
And I said, that's just God. And it was just so funny how that played out. But when you listen to John Baker and his testimony, and then you listen to Cheryl and talking about how that she was in the church. They were part of the Saddleback Church early on. And she goes, we'd gotten involved in that church because it was big and we could hide. And that's what so many people in church do. They keep, and she was, John Baker was an alcoholic, and they had separated and all these things. And they had some financial issues, all this kind of stuff that was just but they were at church smiling every Sunday. And all these people that come walking into church, I've had so many friends of mine that have come and they said, I didn't realize how much I needed this.
Right.
Didn't realize how much
if they just walk in the door, they'll find it.
Wow. It is, and I just can't encourage you enough.
It's such a relief.
Find a place to go share your stuff. And we always talk about the verse where it says, confess your sins to each other so you can pray for each other and be healed. Well, we've always used that kind of as a confess your sins.
Right.
Confess what you did. And I remember Christy McClellan one time, I was listening to one of her lessons, and she defined sin. She says, guys, sin is not always what we've done. Sin is anything that has robbed you of the peace that God created you for. Anything that's robbed you of the shalom that God created you for is sin. So confess the things that people have done to you. Confess the things that you've done. Confess the things that the world's just done, because it's a broken world. Confess the things that you think about in your mind that nobody sees but you and God. Confess those things, and you're going to see people will pray for you, and they're also going to go, oh, me too.
Yeah.
And that's why we can pray for each other, and that's where we find that healing, right?
Yeah.
That's what CR is.
And in the same way, if you are in CR and you fall into your hurt, habit, or hang up, there's no shame and guilt in that. You just come on back, and everybody loves you just like nothing had ever happened.
Amen.
It's not brought up. It's not dwelled upon. It's just like, hey, man, we love you.
Absolutely.
We're here for you. And it's just an amazing place. I just can't. I love it so much.
Yeah, we start with those blue chips, and I have so many people say, I've got so many blue chips, because they end up, they do something and they have to start again and start again and start. And that's what it's all about, man, because we are a hot mess. How many times do we go to God and say, oh, I didn't do well today, and that's what it's about, is just, saying, hey, I need help with this. So invite everybody, tell them what made you start the one at Calvary. And let's talk a little bit about the structure of how your Celebrate Recovery meeting happens, and then we'll kind of talk about how to find all the other meetings.
Okay, how it started up there. I was sitting at Agape Church, happy as I could be, under Tim, and one Sunday God just placed it on my heart that I needed to go to Calvary. I had some connections there with my foster children. They do a lot of outreach for children, have a lot of activities, and I didn't want to go. And so for a month I fought it, but once I went, I started going to church there. If anybody knows anything about Calvary, it's a very traditional type church, which is the exact opposite of what I am. But the pastor, when I asked him about my attire and things like that, he said, "No, I want you to wear that here. I want people to feel comfortable here." And so fast forward 8 to 10 months after I got there, pastor came up to me one day and said, "I think God wants you to start a Celebrate Recovery here." And I was like, "Nah, that's not me." And
You seen all these kids we got in our house? I'm busy.
So I started praying about it. I told him I would, and
Yeah.
I don't. A couple of months later, I said, "Okay, I'll do it." So that's how it all started.
That's
we
awesome.
launched on April 27th of 2025 now.
Yeah. Isn't that really?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're coming up. You're in your second year
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And you're vibrant. I mean, I know a lot of people, I've had several people mention to me that they're coming there. I've got a young person that just graduated. I want them involved with y'all so bad, and I'm going to keep working on them because I know they're going to need volunteer hours for Tennessee Promise, and they could come and work with you guys and volunteer.
Yeah, yeah.
And probably get a couple hours a week in. I'm just saying, because do y'all have a landing program or
We don't.
You don't,
We
because we
don't.
don't have one at Madison either. We have just our large group. But Long Haul is just up the street, guys,
Yes.
and they have everything because that's where you started, right?
That's where I started,
That's where you
yes.
started was Long
Yeah.
Haul. And I don't know a lot about I've got so many friends at Long Haul. I'm so thankful for that congregation. I've gone there for different special events and things like that. I'm at Madison. I've been at Madison since 1989. That's my family. That's just the way it is. And that's where I don't feel God calling me anywhere else right now. And so, and a lot of it's because of the Celebrate Recovery and because of the Baja Missions work and just my family of friends like the Rainies and, Muriel and all the people that I've been going to church with for so many years. And so, but I love Long Hollow, and we make reference to it all the time because we're a small CR, so we haven't done step studies in a while. We just don't have the way to facilitate it. Long Hollow's got stuff going all the time.
Right.
And they have, we talked about, when we were listening to John and Cheryl Baker talk about the different programs with Celebrate Recovery, they mentioned Coming Home, which is the group that meets for veterans.
Right.
That's affiliated with Celebrate Recovery. And we also mentioned at the end of it, The Landing, which is the teen program. But now once you cross 18, you need to come into the adult program. And that's one
Yes.
thing, a conversation that I had with you. I had a teen that I really was trying so much to get involved with The Landing at Long Hollow before they aged out. And don't think they ever attended. But now they could come and work with you guys. And
And the landing's on our radar.
oh, really?
We're still a young CR.
Yeah.
Since there is none in Robertson
Yeah,
County.
we don't
I know
have one.
Epiphany had the landing.
Yeah.
So it's on our radar.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that the team and I are praying about,
Right.
seeking guidance on that.
Yeah, and just for doors to open, like you said, that's one thing that people don't realize on so many things in our lives that we work on. Pray about it. And if the Lord doesn't open it, then don't force it open. Because if it's from Him, you can't stop it. And if it's not from Him, you can't really make it go. There's so many things in our lives we're like, I know you want me to do this, Lord. Well, maybe He doesn't want you to.
Maybe you don't. Maybe you want to.
Maybe you want to do it. And so there's been a lot of things in my life. I'm like, oh, this is a good idea. And then nothing ever happens. I'm like, oh, I guess it's not such a good idea then.
Yeah.
And you just have to accept that and go with it and see where the Lord's guiding you. It's just like you said, who would have thought you would have all these kids?
Right. And who would have thought I would be at Calvary Baptist Church?
Yeah. Well, that's true. You talk about the very traditional church.
Yes.
I met a lot of people in the Association of or in the Church of Christ. They consider Madison kind of more out there and not traditional. Well, it's pretty traditional, y'all. And I'm not. And so I'm the same way. I have a lot of people go, I figured you'd be at a non-denominational or something like that. And I honestly, I'm one of these people. I wish we'd take the banners off all of our churches and just be the church, and the Calvary Church in Greenbrier, the Madison Church in Madison, the church at Long Hollow, and lose all the names. And just because man, you talk about things that are talked about in Scripture, that's mentioned.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Specifically. Yeah. And I don't think we do ourselves any service by keeping these separation banners on the church. We're just the church.
Yeah.
And anyway, that's my soapbox. I know nobody wants to hear that, but
there's the transition going on at Calvary, and things are changing.
Okay. Well, for so many years, you guys had the children's program, right? Where you had they had like a child care program.
Yes.
But people don't realize if you do that, that puts limits on what your church can do.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We had some of that at Madison for a while. And the reason why we came to Madison is because when we first found that congregation, they had a children's home, they had retirement homes, they ran a camp. They've still got the benevolent center, but the way regulation that comes down from the state and federal government will limit what your church can do if you're going to provide these services.
Yes, it does.
And limits you in a way that's not the church.
No.
They put limits on you that prevents you from being purely the church. Mm-hmm. And you just kind of go, well, you do. Yeah. And so we're not going to get any more in specifics about that, but that's a lot of the times when you see churches changing what they're doing, it's because they literally, to really truly be the church, can't do some of these other services because of the limits that, and man, it's insane. The way we have regulated ourselves into not being as free as we need to be,
right,
is breathtaking.
Yeah, but it's been such a blessing moving, transitioning away from that. Our facility looks so much better now. We've got people in there working, painting. We've added a cafe.
Oh, fun.
And just our children's department now looks like a children's department instead of like a nursery. Yeah. A daycare.
Daycare center.
And it's really neat to sit back and watch.
Yeah.
But
it's a vibrant congregation. I mean, you see a lot going on there. And I just know I hear so much about the beautiful work that's done there at Calvary Baptist. So that's amazing.
Our CR is doing well. We're excited this week. We're actually the ambassador for the Celebrate Recovery Native Nations is in town, and he's going to be there. He reached out, asked if he could come and give his testimony.
Awesome.
So we're excited about that.
His number.
Yeah.
I need to give him Addison.
I think he's here for the summit. The summit's in town.
Right.
And so he's here for that, and then we're having special guest worship leaders, Josh and Lindsay Woodleaf. And they were at Northfield.
Oh, okay.
Ministry leaders.
Yes.
And so they're going to come by and sing for us that night.
Awesome.
And,
awesome.
We've been blessed to have different special guests come in and sing.
Yeah.
And it's really neat. Ours is more of a community CR than a Calvary CR, and that's the way Pastor wanted it to be, and that's the way we established it. So we have singers that come in from all over. They come in and sing, and
that's awesome.
It's amazing.
Well, and so you mentioned Northfield and the Summit. I didn't realize it was this weekend. It had gotten away from me. I guess,
Yeah, I think today's the last day. It's 3 days.
So it's been going on this week. Well, see, I mentioned that on Wednesday, and it completely. I wish I had known because the dates got away from me because we were just so tied up with our mission down in Mexico. But the gentlemen that were inquiring about CR, they would have really benefited from the summit, because was the summit at Northfield or was it at Long Hollow? It was at Long Hollow.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're wrapping it up today.
I think today's the last day.
Okay, but and when we say summit, it's just a big gathering of all the Celebrate Recovery in the area, and just kind of that pep rally kind of thing.
Yeah, actually the summit is actually the whole nation and the world.
Yeah.
I think there's like 43 countries in town.
Have you been able to go to any of
I
it?
haven't gone. No.
Yeah,
I didn't
I haven't
purchase
either.
a ticket.
Yeah.
So
That's the thing. Those tickets are not cheap either, but
Yeah.
but you got to have, you got to have the funding to put all this stuff on. But it's really cool that it is here because sometimes it's in Texas a lot,
yeah,
in different places.
It's mostly at Saddleback,
Yeah.
and a couple of years they were at the Potter's House in Dallas,
Okay.
and I think this is the second time they've been to Long Hollow.
Because I know the Driscolls have gone down to Texas a few times.
Yeah, that was at the Potter's House.
Christy's one of our state reps, and and Matt was a state rep for a long time, and so they had gone and had tried to get me down there, and my summers are just too packed right now. I got too many things going on, but it's a wonderful program, and I'm glad you clarified with me when that was, because that had slipped my mind that the summit was going on. So, but there's just all kinds of things going on with Celebrate Recovery, and if you want more, you might be able to get a 1-day ticket to go in there. I don't know if you could go in or not.
It's been sold out for a while.
Oh, really?
But
I didn't realize
the sanctuary or the auditorium is full, and then the overflow auditorium, which is the old sanctuary from back in the day, is full. So they sold it all
they don't
out.
have so there's no tickets. Well, there you go.
No.
I'd love to get in there just to get some CR shirts.
Merch, yeah.
Yes,
They may let you get in
They
there.
may go in there just to get some merch because
they
I need some CR shirts because I see some of the coolest Celebrate Recovery shirts come back from Summit, and I would love to get a hold of
If
some.
you get on their website, you can get them all.
Yeah. But
There may be some outside.
yeah,
All
that's
the
just, I hadn't even
outside
thought
is
about
in.
that because you got so many people in there. But again, there's so much going on with Celebrate Recovery, and it's something that everybody needs and everybody needs to be a part of. And if you're, somebody that, some of the things that we've said strike with you, you can get on the Celebrate Recovery app and put it on your phone, and you can put in a zip code and say 50-mile radius, and it'll tell you about all the Celebrate Recoveries that meet. And within a 50-mile radius, I think you can probably find something every day.
Yeah.
I think you could probably find something every day. You might have to go within 100 miles, but even 100 miles, that's like within an hour, guys. Within an hour's drive. Within an hour's drive of this area, I'd be surprised if you can't find a Celebrate Recovery every single night.
I think in the immediate, there was a Celebrate Recovery on Saturdays in Franklin, Kentucky.
Yeah.
And I think it's no longer available.
Okay.
So I think
Saturday might be a
the
window.
median is about Saturday's the only time that doesn't have them right now.
Okay. And that might be for this congregation that spoke to me on Wednesday. I might recommend a Tuesday or a Saturday because we had the one at Epiphany for a while on Tuesday night. So, because I know Monday's Long Hollow. That's period.
The 24 Church in Pleasant View
Yeah.
is close to us. They're on Mondays.
They're on Mondays. Oh, I didn't know that. And then we've got, I don't immediately know of one on Tuesday, but then we're on Wednesday night. Northfield's on Thursday night. Do you know who's on Friday night off the top? Do you know who off the top
I think
of your head?
Grace Nazarene out.
Are they still doing
by
Friday
Upperland.
night? Okay. And then, of course, Sunday, you've got Calvary Baptist up here in Greenbrier. But you can find them pretty quickly just about any night that you need a meeting. And this is, if you can go online, Google John Baker testimony, founder of CR. And you can find him and Cheryl talking about why it was founded, what it's all about, and it will help you put all the pieces together. And it'll change you. I've still got a couple of ads to do. Let me do another ad, and then we'll come back and continue talking with Spence Boston about all the things going on within our community that you need to know about. But I want to pause for a minute and talk about my friends over at the UPS store. There is so much going on over there. I was asking Deb, I said, Deborah, she works there, and just say, is there anything specific you want us to mention this week? And something that we always mention, but we want to double down on, is just the fact that they're the notary store. If you're somebody, sometimes things happen and you need to get something notarized. And I can remember when I first started working for the school system, I had to get everything notarized, saying that I had worked at different places and I had to get things notarized and send to my former bosses, and they had to notarize. And it was such a hassle trying to find a notary because somebody said, well, there's a notary over here. And then I'd go and they were out to lunch, and I had just the toughest time. Well, whenever after my mother passed away, we had to settle all the estate stuff and all that. And my brother had things he needed me to sign, and he would send things to me, and I needed to get it notarized. All I had to do is go to the UPS store, and everybody in there is a notary. There's always a notary there. And so you can go in and get it done, and you're done. And they've got hours to suit everybody. They're going to be opening up here real soon. On Monday through Friday, they're open from 8 to 6:30, 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Saturday, they're open from 9 to 3. Sunday, they're open from 10 to 3. And guys, they've got everything. They have got special deals on mailers, both sides printed. They've got invitations for bridal showers and weddings and birthday parties. They've got those big fathead signs. If you want to embarrass your child when they're for their birthday or some special ball game, you can get those little fatheads and carry their little face around on a stick. All those, it's just stuff like that. Anytime, if you can think of it, they can probably print it for you. I'll be honest with you. And the nicest people in the world to work with. Love Tom and that whole crew. Every time I go in there and ask a question, they're just beyond professional and kind to make sure that you leave there with everything that you need. So guys, whatever it is, go in and talk to them. I'm looking at their website right now, and they're featuring a coupon that they printed for a local business for a promotional kind of thing. I mean, anything like that, they can take care of it for you. Our Celebrate Recovery tags that we wear with our names on them, at Madison, they did those. Yeah. Because I couldn't do as good of a job as I needed something a little more professional looking. Right. And so I had them print them up for me last time. And they actually have a graphic artist there that helped me get it all laid out and make it work perfectly. So it's all great what they do at the UPS stores. We can't say enough about them. 513 Memorial Boulevard here in Springfield, again, opening up here in just a few minutes. They'll be opening up at 8 o'clock this morning, and they want you to come by and see them. You're going to love working with them. And when you do get by there, be sure and let them know that U-Turn sent you. Okay, Spence, what are we missing? What are we missing about CR and all the things going on that we need to talk about today?
I guess like I said earlier, how inclusive CR is, how everyone is welcome, and many places and many churches say everyone's welcome. But if you walk in looking like me, acting like I used to, smell like I used to, it suddenly becomes maybe you're not. But Celebrate Recovery welcomes everyone, and there's no judgment there. There's no shame. We're just going to love on you, and we're not going to try to fix you. We're just going to tell you our story and tell you what we've done, and you can decide from there whether you want to follow that path or not. But it's just a wonderful place.
It really is. And like you said, everyone's welcome. The stories and the testimonies that I've heard where people say, when I went in, I knew that they were going to treat me this way and that way. And they were loved and hugged and encouraged. Have you ever listened to Josh Howerton, the preacher? He's like all over social media. He's got a big church. He was here in Nashville, and then they stole him down in Texas from us. But he's just a really amazing young minister, and he talks about one of his early experiences as a youth pastor, where he used to go in and he would buy pizzas for his youth group all the time. And the guy who served him, he'd keep inviting him to church. And he had said one day that, okay, I'm going to come, this guy that would serve them, get the pizzas for the youth group. And so he knew he was going to come because they had really built up a relationship. And he says, and I watched for him, and he never came, and he never came, and he never came. And I was like, oh. So he goes, I go back later that week and find out, I was like, oh, I thought you were coming. And come to find out he had. And somebody had met him before Josh got to him and cautioned him about, well, we wear our best when we come and worship the Lord. And so the guy was left.
Yeah.
He left. And Josh, I've heard Josh tell that story so many times and how it broke his heart. And how many people have had that experience? I had an experience like that at a church up in Nashville. I'm not going, well, I think it's closed. It was, I'll tell you what it was. It was the Wingate Church of Christ. And one of the pastors there, because I think they've closed their doors if I'm not mistaken, but when one of the pastors was there, came and used to do a radio show. And this is back when I was not living right, and I was wild. I was a wild child, and I had really had a lot of doubts about my faith and God, and I was really struggling. And this is back early 80s, Spence. So you can imagine I had big wild hair, permed hair. I had on a black leather jacket and stonewashed jeans, and I looked like I just got off of a Harley. And I didn't ride a motorcycle, but I looked it. And they had church on Wednesday night, and I was searching. I was missing God. I was missing his involvement in my life. And this preacher had invited me to church so many times. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go. Well, I had just gotten off whatever I was doing. I was traffic reporter, at the time, I guess, was part of it. But I was doing all kinds of, I was also DJing and all this. But I'd gotten off work, and I thought, church is starting. I'm going to go over there. And so I pulled in, and I went in, and I sat there, and it was what I was expecting because it's very traditional church. And at the end of the service, and nobody said hi to me or anything. I just sat down. They didn't tell me anything particular. And at the end of it, I went up to say to the preacher, "Thank you for inviting me. I enjoyed my time here." Just the cordial thing you do. And he took my hand. He says, "I'm glad you're here, but when you come back, dress more appropriately."
Wow.
I never went back. And it was years before I really fully darkened the door of a church again.
No.
How many people have had that experience? That's not what CR is. And that's what Spence is talking about. How your preacher at Calvary said, "You come just as you are."
Yes.
That's how we're all supposed to come. And man, come just as you are and be a part of CR.
Yeah, and I dress that way. I had someone ask me since I've been at Calvary about how I dress, and I was honest with them. I said, I dress this way so other people that come in looking like me know there's somebody else. And I said, I also do it a lot to rebel against my strict religious upbringing.
Yeah.
And so I still got that rebel in me. But
starting to break the molds, man.
But when you were talking about wearing your best, I don't know if you've ever seen Mickey Bell. He's a Christian comedian.
Okay.
And he's on Facebook.
Okay, well,
he goes around.
Okay.
Whatever town he's in, he'll reach out to all the CRs.
Okay.
And ask if they want him to come do a free thing.
Okay.
But he's got one of his skits is about wearing your best. How on Sunday you wear your best because we're coming into the house of the Lord. He said, but on Wednesday you show up in pajama pants and flip flops. Is it not still the house of the Lord? And
how funny!
He has a lot of that kind of humor in his stuff. It's hilarious.
Funny.
But
that's funny.
I love
him. I love it. Mickey Bell. I'll check him out. I'm real curious about this guy you've got coming in on Sunday too. That sounds like a wonderful.
Yeah, Kevin.
And you said he's part of which?
He's the ambassador for the Celebrate Recovery Native Nations Division, which is Celebrate Recovery for the Native Americans.
So in the reservations and things like that. Yes. You talk about a place that really struggles and the area that are served with the reservations, because there's a lot of ministry programs that go in and serve in those capacities. That's breathtaking, man. I bet he's got a lot.
He's going to be there. He's bringing a resource table.
Okay.
And he's going to go over a little bit about the Native Nations. But
wow.
Yeah, he reached out to us out of the blue and asked
how
if we
cool.
could make a space. We sure can.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely. That's wonderful. That. Absolutely. Where is he from?
I want to say somewhere in California, but I could be wrong. I haven't had much conversation with him.
That would be
just
powerful
followed him on
part of. That's really cool.
Just followed him on Facebook since he reached out.
That's awesome. But I'll check that out. Send me his contact. I mean, because I'd love to just know a little bit more about him.
Yeah.
Because I like to keep a few testimonies that are recorded that are different, just like the Breaking Chains motorcycle guy who started that. I can't think of his name right now. That's a powerful testimony. If you've never heard his testimony. So I have several that I keep recorded for when I mess up and mess up my testimony schedule and get somebody in. But anyway, that's great. I've got to do another ad. Do you need to head out?
I got to go to physical.
That's right. You've got an appointment. We're going to let Spence slide on out, and I'm going to talk to you about Valor Mortgage and a couple of other things going on in the community. So stick around. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
For all you do.
Yeah.
Come and be a part of the Calvary Baptist Celebrate Recovery. Tell them what time you meet again.
Sundays at 5 p.m.
At 5 p.m. Yeah. And guys, if you're interested in being, if God's tugging on your heart to take care of the fatherless and the motherless and the kids that are out there in foster care, talk to Spence and Heather about how God just turned their life upside down to do this. And check out Isaiah 117 House, because this is the lemonade stand weekend, and make them a part of your tithe. I remind people, you don't have to, people like, I'm going to give my tithe to this congregation. Well, you know what? Tithe to your church in some way, but there's all these amazing programs that are changing our community from the inside out. Isaiah, Open Door, CASA, man, and I guarantee you're familiar with every one of those because you're working with foster care.
Yes.
And every one of those programs have been involved with these kiddos, and they are changing our community from the inside out. Be a part of the Isaiah House fundraiser this weekend. Go and be a part of Calvary Baptist and the Celebrate Recovery. I know you need to go. Get your appointment.
Good to see you.
God bless
Thanks
you.
so
Thank
much.
you, Spence, so much.
See y'all next
Love
time.
you guys. Absolutely. And we'll just keep going here. And let's pause as Spence is making his way out and talk about Valor Mortgage. My friend Chris Armtrout, they have their office right on the downtown square, 2 doors down, famously 2 doors down from the new movie theater. And everything that you need when it comes to getting home ownership as part of your portfolio, maybe we want to say. But one of the first things you need to do, if you talk to any realtor, when you come and you say, I want to buy a house, I want to sell, I want to do whatever, they're going to say, what can you do as far as a mortgage? You need to find out what you qualify for, because you've got to look at that in your budget. Because if you don't, I have a friend of mine, they built their dream home. Well, they overbuilt their dream home, and they found out very quickly, this is killing us budgetarily. And they ended up having to sell it and downsize because they didn't get good advice on the front end about how much they needed to buy it off. That's what they are experts at. Chris Armtrout and the experienced loan officers at Valor, they're going to work hard to make sure that you don't bite off more than you can chew, that you go and look at homes that are within your budget range and what you can do, whether you're buying your first home or maybe you're wanting to do a refinance program. Maybe you're investing in your future. My son is a veteran, and they have gotten into rental property. They have bought another home, and they're renting their first home, or the home that they were living in. Maybe that's something you want to do. Well, there's a lot of VA loan options that'll help you do that if you're a veteran. But there's also some great FHA loan options that'll help you do those kinds of things, and conventional loans and jumbo financing, all the tools, every tool you need. Chris and his team of loan officers at Valor, they have those tools to help you get there when it's one of the biggest decisions that you're ever going to make. You don't want to sell for a lender that's going to treat you like a number. Call them today. Find out how much you can be pre-approved for. The number is 615-671-9178, 615-671-9178, or go to valor.mortgage to get pre-approved today, because when it matters most, you deserve a lender you can trust. Buy with confidence, buy with Valor. Valor Mortgage, NMLS, number 1210804, DBA of Encore Lending Group, NMLS, 1249911, equal housing lender, subject to credit approval, rates and terms subject to change without notice, not a commitment to lend. And before we wrap up, I want to make sure we get all these big invites in. This is a chance for you to learn about the history of this county. Making Hands is a play that covers our founding to present day, and it is beautiful. It's wonderful. I saw it last Friday for its opening night. You can see it tonight at 7, tomorrow night at 7, and 2 o'clock on Sunday. Go to my social media page and you'll see where Channel 5 did a feature on it, because it's just so good. It's so well written. The writer, Mark Eden, did a great job. It's funny. It's dramatic. The music is excellent. It's bluegrass and it's bluesy. It's just so good, guys. I cannot say enough about this. The lighting, the sound, everybody did such a great job on this. And it is up at the Innovation Academy, the old Springfield High School, in that historic auditorium. Go and be a part of it. Well, as you're getting ready for Making Hands, why don't you go look at some of the equipment that helped make us who we are at the 56th Annual Steam Threshing Show. This is opening up today and tomorrow. Gates will open at 8 a.m. right now. You can go in. It's $10 a day to go in. If you got kids 12 and under, they're free. And you're going to see, now the parade happens tomorrow. You want to get out there early if you want to see the parade, and it's just cool as all get out. They have got arts and crafts, a flea market, Bellwitch, the Blacksmith Forge is going to be there, Hit and Miss Engines, Fairbanks, Morse, Diesel, Mule Pool is happening tonight at 7. Pony Pool tomorrow at 10 a.m. and at 4 p.m. They've got antique gas and diesel engines, antique stationary hay balers. There's just so much going on. Sawmilling demos at 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 4 p.m. An antique tractor pull tonight at 5 p.m. and then Saturday at 1 p.m. It's a good time, guys. It's in Adams. It's 7615 Highway 41 North in Adams. That is going on right now, starting today. Get your tickets and get out there for that. Again, don't miss Making Hands. And the theater has a new movie starting today, Moana. Go to Capitol Theater and get your tickets. Capitol Theater, Tennessee, our historic theater. If you haven't been there, they got that great $25 popcorn bucket that you can get refilled for $5 all the way through the end of the year. We've also got, what else was I going to mention? We've got Pray TN happening this weekend on Saturday. You need to get involved in that. Pray TN is happening this weekend. And there was one other thing I was going to mention. And now, also the Capitol Theater, they're going to have Back to the Future tonight, I think at 9:45. So it's a throwback. That's going to be happening. I mean, there's just stuff happening everywhere. And you need to be a part of it right here in Robertson County. Just get involved. Get on the HIP Springfield or Springfield, Tennessee's webpage. I know that Lee Marie puts a lot of stuff up on her Facebook page, and I'll put all the stuff up as well that I can find. Again, that big Pray for Tennessee this weekend, I think it's like at 11 on the square, if I'm not mistaken. And also, Two Heads Farm is having their Corn Fest tomorrow, so you want to be a part of that. Oh, and we forgot to mention that the Recovery Fest is coming up August 22nd. August 22nd, the Recovery Fest is coming up. I forgot to mention that with Spence. There's stuff happening everywhere, guys. So be a part of all the good stuff that we've got going on here in Robertson County, in Springfield, and just keep letting us know anything that's going on that we need to cover and share through these airways here on 1100 WSGI. God bless you. Thank you for having some time with us, spending some time with us this morning, and I hope you'll find a church home to be a part of. One thing at the Thresherman Show, they're going to have dinner on the ground and a church service on Sunday up in Adams. That would be a wonderful thing to be a part of. If you're trying to find a place to be churched, there's another place that you can go and be a part of that. So be a part of it all. God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend. This is 1100 WSGI.